Hey Canucks fans, more Canucks news as now the Canucks have announced changes to their coaching staff. Let's break it all down. I'm Canuck Clay and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, July the 1st. Happy Canada Day once again. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy as I climb towards 10,000 subscribers. This is actually my third video that I'm recording, but I'm posting it second in the order because my big video I'll save until later. And I already did a vlog earlier today about Lockwood, Juleson, and Rathbone. So now this one is about Canucks coaching staff changes. And it looks like they've they've solidified their coaching staffs for both Vancouver and Abbotsford. And I always joke around, they're doing more off the ice in terms of coaching staff and front office and trainers and than they are doing on the ice. And that trend continues today. And obviously the Canucks are still working hard on this holiday because we have a lot to talk about here. Let's get into it. In a nutshell, Mike Yeo joins, Trent Cull gets promoted, Jerry Colliton joins Abbotsford, and Bradshaw is leaving Vancouver after just one season. So let's break it all down. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin and Abbotsford Canucks General Manager Ryan Johnson announced today changes to the club's coaching staff. Mike Yeo has been brought on as an assistant coach. Trent Cull has been promoted to assistant coach of the Canucks. Jeremy Colliton will take over as head coach of the Abbotsford Canucks, while Bradshaw will be leaving the organization to take an associate coach position with the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's talk about Bradshaw first. I don't know what the difference between an assistant and associate coach is. Just like I'm an associate director at work, not an assistant director. I just think it means you're not the head guy. You're not the head coach. So whether you're an assistant or associate, doesn't matter. It means you're obviously valued, but you're not the head coach. You're not the guy in charge. And that's what Bradshaw is going to do with Philadelphia. Now, I'm kind of sad to see Bradshaw go, but it sounds like maybe it's a promotion for him, or maybe it puts him closer in line to getting a head coach position, whatever it may be. We know that he was brought in for last summer, and especially when he was known as a defensive guru for his work in other places, and especially once he took over the Canucks penalty kill after Scott Walker's unfortunate injury, we start to see the penalty kill improve. We start to see the defense of the team improve overall, and a lot of that had to do with Bradshaw. Every time I heard him on the radio, he sounded very articulate, very forthcoming. I liked him a lot, and I wish that he had a bit of a longer run here in Vancouver, but we also wish him really good luck with Philadelphia, and like I said, maybe this is a better move for his career trajectory by moving across to Philly. So once again, Bradshaw leaving the organization after just 1 year with us. Now, let's talk about the promotions here, or at least the new hires. First, it's Mike Yeo. I like this guy. Now, some of us remember, I think it was a tirade that he had when he was coaching I'm pretty sure it's the St. Louis Blues, actually, not the Minnesota Wild, but we've seen that footage of him chucking things on the ice and stuff like that. So maybe he has a bit of a temper, but he's also got a lot of experience. He most recently served as the assistant coach for Philadelphia. Interesting that he was assistant for Philadelphia coming this way. Bradshaw is going to be associate for Philadelphia going that way. Again, assistant, associate, no clue what the difference is. But Yeo is 48 years old and was assistant coach of Philly for 2020-21. And then for the first 22 games of this last season. And then he became interim head coach for the remainder of the season. And then, of course, Philly unfortunately didn't make the playoffs. And that's probably why they didn't extend him. So Mike Yeo comes here. He's been head coach for Minnesota Wild he was there for 5 seasons, 6 seasons actually, 5 seasons. And then he was at St. Louis Blues head coach for 3 seasons. So 5 full years in Minnesota, 3 full years in St. Louis. So he was in the Central Division for 8 seasons. And then most recently a 2-year stint out east with the Philadelphia Flyers. Got a decent record through 542 games coached, 263, 217 and 62, take away the 62. So he's about 50 games over 500, 45 games over 500. And he also has a Stanley Cup as an assistant coach with the Penguins back in 2009. So obviously there's some history there, a relationship between Rutherford and Mike Yeo. A lot of these guys that Rutherford and Allvin are bringing in, you can tell that they're guys that Rutherford has worked with in the past. So again, Mike Yeo, most recently the Philadelphia Flyers interim head coach, now an assistant, not an associate, now an assistant coach with the Vancouver Canucks. Another assistant coach is Trent Cull, who comes to Vancouver from Abbotsford. He is most recently the head coach of the Abbotsford Canucks, and of course Utica before that. And with the first year in Abbotsford, they did well. They went 39, 23, 5-1 underneath Cull. Unfortunately, they got eliminated in 2 games straight in the playoffs. But he's also 48 years old, like Mike Yeo, and he's been with the Canucks since 2017. Of course, all that time with Utica, and then when Utica moved to Abbotsford last year, leading the Abbotsford Canucks to a really, really good season in Abbotsford. And the one cool thing, this is important because obviously Trent Cull knows a lot about the guys that have played in Abbotsford. Guys like Lockwood, Sheldon Dries, guys like Jack Rathbone. So anyone who basically has played on the farm, whether in Utica before or now Abbotsford, we know that Trent Cull will know a lot about them. So Cull joins Mike Yeo on the bench. Now, Jeremy Colliton is probably a familiar name. He's young. He's only 37. And I remember how big of a deal they made when he was hired as the head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks a few years ago for being so young. So he was there for 4 seasons and in 205 career NHL games coached. He's 87, 92, and 26. So not as good. 87 and 92. But he also has some AHL experience working with the Rockford Ice Hogs. He's the Chicago Blackhawks affiliate prior to joining the Blackhawks. So obviously he did the Ice Hogs in Rockford, then got promoted to the Chicago Blackhawks head coach. And now he goes back to the AHL and will serve as the head coach of the Abbotsford Canucks. So what does that mean overall? Here's the final Canucks coaching staff for next season. Vancouver, Bruce Boudreau is the head coach. 3 assistant coaches, Mike Yeo, Trent Cull, and they join Jason King. Remember, Brad Shaw and Scott Walker aren't coming back. Those were the assistant coaches last year. So Boudreau with Yeo, King, and Cull. Then Ian Clark remains director of goaltending and head goaltending coach. And then Dylan Crawford is video coach. Remember that they made that announcement back in June. Then in Abbotsford on the farm, you have now Jeremy Colliton as the head coach. And you have Curtis Sanford as the goaltending coach. And then you have 1 associate coach, Gary Agnew, and 1 assistant coach, Jeff Ulmer. Again, associate versus assistant. Maybe that's what I should call this vlog. So there we go, Canucks fans. A bunch of news happening on the ice, technically on the ice, with contracts for Lockwood, Juleson, and Rathbone earlier this morning. Then we now have all these announcements to the Canucks coaching staffs. And then in about an hour, I'll post my actual vlog that I was going to do today, talking about Besser, Horvat, Miller, Pearson, and my new membership levels. And many of you have already seen coming through, have already starting to join the new levels, which I appreciate very much. Okay. As always, shout out to my sponsors, Perform and Transform and Van City Experts Real Estate Group. Thank you to legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, and legendary Andrew Chang, as well to Hall of Fame members and franchise members. Thank you. And if you want to become a member of the CCC crew, press the join button underneath this or my videos, or in the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. You'll see all of the new tiers explained in great detail. Okay, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade if you'd like to, leave a tip or super thanks if you'd like to, and leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Tell me what you think about these coaching changes. Tell me if you like these guys. Tell me if you're going to miss Brad Shaw. And if you want, if you made it this far in the video, why don't you try and explain to me the difference between assistant coach and associate coach, because I have no clue. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Have a very safe and fun Canada Day holiday. God bless, and go Canucks go.